the point of this topic is that as an author, when you have an ensemble cast, a lot of characters, even a lot of main characters, you want to give them as much screen time together, give them all like their own subplots or give them their own motivation so they can achieve the same goals as the main character, in this case Harry Potter. The two additional main characters that usually join him are Ron and Hermione. Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger. Now, as far as I can remember from the books and even the movies, I don't remember them having any set goals in mind. Even Harry. Harry was just kind of trying to survive, go to school, get a better life. And then Hermione was like all about her studying. Secretly had a crush on Ron, which I saw throughout all the movies. I know people think it came out of nowhere, but it's very subtle in all the movies. And then, Ron also had a subtle crush on Hermione throughout all the movies. But, I don't remember them having really set motivations besides. They don't really need it because they're just kids going to school. You're already in a magical world and you're being threatened by a dark wizard. So what more do you need in your life? And there probably is more. I'm probably forgetting. I did read the books after I finished all the movies. And I do love the books, although I think some of the stuff was unnecessary, like the whole thing with the owls. I understand the point of the owls, but you could just glossed over that. Like, we already go to school and do these. We don't need to see an owl exam, or the house elves thing. That subplot, which I didn't feel like went anywhere, but it did expand on the universe and the world. And very recently, we had got, Hogwarts Legacy, which let us see and let us explore Hogwarts in our own way, and I think they did it masterfully. However, today's topic is specifically about how brilliant the 5 first Harry Potter endings were. Now, the 6th and 7th ending, I'm combining movies 7 and 8, and just like the book was just one book for 7. They were brilliant as well, but I think she did something really creative with these first 5. Like, the way she built it up. And it's specifically just the endings I want to talk about. I want to talk about how brilliant they were. So let's get into that. In the Sorcerer's Stone, when Hermione, Ron, and Harry figure out that Snape is the one going out to Sorcerer's Stone, they sneak into the Cerberus pit where they find it's already been put to sleep by music. Which, if you watch my One Piece theory, if you on Blackbeard, if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it wakes up. But luckily, they manage to escape, and then they fall into Devil's Snare. Hermione's smarts get them out of that. She's like, "Don't move," or use the power of light, or use the magical light. And Harry understands what Hermione says. He calms down. He slithers through. But Ron's the one that panics, and Hermione saves him. Now, in the book, there was also a potion scene where I think Hermione had to stay behind. But in the movie, there's just a chess scene, which is still in the book, where Ron, he uses his smarts with magical games and takes over. And he gets knocked out there while Harry moves on to fight the final villain. But what's great about this is you introduce us to 3 main characters, and they all have to play a part to help Harry. They all play a part to help the main character. This is that opponent tier kind of thing where the main character, even though he's fighting another opponent tier, or we can say home tier, he still needs his additional friends to help him, because Harry wouldn't have got past the potions. Harry wouldn't have got past the chessboard all on his own. So, really great scene. And, they were all kids. This is their first time starting out, their first time acting ever. But, as a kid myself, being just 9 years old watching this, I fell in love with the magic of the scene and everything. And I really give them applaud for that. Chamber of Secrets. This is where it gets more complicated. We do start out with just Ron and Harry, but we're also going to finish with Ron and Harry. Just not as strong as Sorcerer's Stone's ending. So in this one, you get a scene where, these kids are getting petrified by something in the walls. And they don't know what it is. It's called I think it was called the Beast or something, or whatever it was called. We all know it was a Leviathan snake. Slithering through the walls and petrifying anybody who looked at it. But Hermione was one of the characters that got petrified because she got so close to the truth, but she couldn't obviously tell Harry and Ron. So then they seek out, what was it? Hagrid, who tells them to follow the spiders through, using their invisible cloak from Harry. And then it's like a Ron and Harry kind of like adventure again, from just like at the beginning of the movie. You get this middle part where they go face these spiders, and then Ron's with them up until the ending, but then Ron gets separated from Harry while Harry goes to fight the final villain, which is Tom what's his name? Tom Riddle, as well as saving Ginny, as well as, fighting the snake, because we couldn't have Ron there for that ending. But it's still hype for this being brilliant, because it was Ron and Harry throughout most of the story while Hermione was, out of the way. She was out of commission. And so I got to give her that as well. You'll see what I'm going for in a second, but you're seeing how she's slowly separating these characters as well as making each ending different. Then we get to my personal favorite, The Prisoner of Azkaban. So in The Prisoner of Azkaban, Ron's now out of commission near the finale because I think he got hurt by the pet rat that turned into Peter Pettigrew. Something like that. I haven't watched them all recently, but I just basically talking about the endings. So now while Ron's in the hospital, it's now Hermione's turn to take, the hero's journey with Harry. And so they use a time turner. They go back in time by Dumbledore's suggestive compulsion. Or not compulsion. He suggests them in a way hey, you could do this and maybe change some things. And so it's like Hermione and Harry's story where, they have to go save Hagrid's pet. They have to go save Buckbeak. They've got to save themselves from the wolfman, which, oh my God, I love seeing that werewolf. I love werewolves. I even wrote a book about it. It's called Love You Damn. Check it out. But that scene, oh my God, when he turned into a werewolf, I lost it. I didn't even catch it with the moon thing, but I lost it when that happened. And then, it's Hermione and Harry in the final battle again against all the Dementors and saving his uncle, Sirius Black, or adoptive godfather Sirius Black, which is very cool. Even though Hermione's also there, she didn't do anything, Ron didn't do anything in Chamber of Secrets, but she's still there to witness Harry's greatness. And she's also there to help him because she's used her smarts, saving Buckbeak, saving themselves from a werewolf. And I believe they did one other thing, but that might have been everything. But it's still just amazing how creative that J.K. Rowling got to that point. And then we get to the Goblet of Fire, which you already know, in my personal opinion, it should have never been another Gryffindor. It should have been a Slytherin. And I've already done a video about why it should have been a Slytherin. You can go watch that. Why I think Cedric Diggory should have been a Slytherin. But for this example, Harry's technically alone. Because even though Cedric Diggory is with him in the finale, he's immediately taken out, and it's now, Harry versus all these Death Eaters versus Voldemort. Which, it really comes down to Harry versus Voldemort, because Voldemort's I want to kill him myself. You guys stay back. He ruined my reputation. He's the boy that lived, and, I've fucking known for killing everybody. He's known for defeating me somehow, even if he's just a baby. So he's I ain't fucking with that. I'm going to kill this kid myself. But, again, now you have Harry for the first time without Hermione, without Ron, because they couldn't participate in the Goblet of Fire. And you have Harry himself facing Voldemort. Yes, the spirits of his parents show up, but it still comes down to, like I said, our main character being Harry by himself. Again, this has been brilliant because the first movie, it was Harry, Ron, and Hermione. The second movie, it was just Harry and Ron in the finale. And then in the third movie, it was Harry and Hermione in the basically the finale. And now it's just Harry by himself facing the biggest enemy of all time, for the first time. The fifth movie in the fifth book, The Order of the Phoenix, is one of the best books, I think, in my opinion, because you have multiple villains. You have Dolores Umbridge, you have Voldemort showing up again for the first time, and you have, the Death Eaters, Lucius Malfoy, Bellatrix Lestrange. I love Bellatrix Lestrange. That bitch is crazy. She is amazing. Great actress, too. In so many movies. But this is the first time Harry forms Dumbledore's army, or what Dolores calls Dumbledore's army. It's Harry teaming up with all of his friends that he's made over time throughout his years at Hogwarts, and they're battling in the Ministry of Magic, and it was a really dope scene. Like, I don't want to underplay that whole fight. And we lose some major characters in that battle. We lose Sirius Black. He's killed by Bellatrix Lestrange. Harry goes after her, but he's confronted by Voldemort, who's waiting for him. Voldemort was like trying to lure Harry out, like, you got away from me last time. But then Dumbledore, he slides in there so fucking clean. You can see like the fear on Tom Riddle's face. Like, it'd be even better if, like, you know how like in The Dark Knight, what's his name? Alfred had lines when he was supposed to see Heath Ledger's Joker, but he was so shocked by how Heath Ledger's Joker looked. That was his genuine reaction, and so they just kept recording it. They just kept playing the movie. And I wish, at least I hope, that was like Voldemort's reaction. Like, maybe he didn't read the script to that point. Like, he was just like, oh, this is where I kill Harry Potter. And then Dumbledore just slides that all clean. He's like, oh, what the fuck? Because the way he looks, he played that so good. And this battle is probably the most creative we've ever seen a wizard battle. They're using glass. They're using fire. He turns into water. Harry tries to get up. Dumbledore pushes him back like, no, Harry. This is the first time Harry, like, you stay out of the way for the finale. You're not going to save the day this time. I'm going to protect you. And oh my God, it's so good. If you're not even a Harry Potter fan, just watch that scene with Dumbledore versus Voldemort. It's very entertaining, very good, very fun to watch. Let's talk about my arguably second favorite movie of all the 8 movies, the Half-Blood Prince. Now, this scene with the man playing Dumbledore is so powerful because they've been looking for the Horcruxes since the beginning of this movie, since the beginning of this book. And, they knew about the Horcruxes before this, but like now they're they're out to destroy them because they know what they are. They know this is how Voldemort basically made himself immortal. And so there's this scene, it goes on for like 2 or 3 minutes of like Dumbledore, to get to this Horcrux, they have to drink this water that basically like poisons the body and the mind and makes you feel like you're dying. But the only way it's going to end is if you finish drinking it. So for 2 minutes, this man that played Dumbledore is acting his ass off. He is like, please, Harry, no more, please. Other times it's like, kill me. And it's like, bro, you feel it, especially in the theaters. Like, you had to have been there. If you watched it at home, I mean, you'll probably still get into it if you love Harry Potter. But man, I'm trying to tell you, when you saw that man acting his ass off, it was so good. And he's even crying at one point. He's like, please, no more, please. I don't want to drink no more. And Harry's just like, please, Dumbledore. It's the only way we get the Horcrux. Just drink this one last sip. And you can see him like acting like a kid, like closing his mouth, turning his head like, But, and it's not funny because like when you're in the moment and you know what the stakes are, you realize like how like bad this is, and the pain you see on Dumbledore's face, it's like excruciating for him. So applause to the man that played Dumbledore in that scene, as well as this epic scene after that, like the Ring of Fire where he gets rid of all those skeletons. Amazing. Now I'm about to go on a little rant really fast about Malfoy. Malfoy was built up as Harry's rival since Sorcerer's Stone, because Harry could have potentially been in Slytherin, but he chose to be in Gryffindor because I feel like him and Malfoy would have been buddies, like friends or something, or like friendly rivals. But this is I'm getting distracted. Sorry about that, guys. This book, since the third book / movie, I feel like Malfoy became less of an antagonist. Like, I was fine with Hermione punching him in the nose because I thought that was a cool power moment. But after that one, I don't think he did much in the fourth besides get longer hair. But he definitely started seeming more like a little bitch. Fifth movie, I don't think he was in it at all. He might have been there. I don't really remember. But this movie, he seems like a wimp. He doesn't seem as powerful. Like, I don't want him to want to kill Dumbledore. I want him to be hesitant, but I still want him to be like, I'm evil. I'm down for this. But instead, he's like, I don't have to do this. And then, but it's obviously so Snape can kill Dumbledore. And you get that reveal in the next book / movie that Snape was like a triple agent, double agent. for Dumbledore, but a very impactful scene. I remember the death of Dumbledore was like it was so huge, man. And we all felt it in the theater. I love the ending where they raise the wands to the sky for Dumbledore. That was powerful. And it got rid of the Death Eater mark. That was the other thing. Like, yeah, because after they kill Dumbledore, Bellatrix Lestrange's crazy ass sends like the death mark into the sky. Like, oh yeah, we killed Dumbledore and I killed Sirius and we killed Sirius Black. But then, like, you know, the students together show like, hey, we're still united, and that's how you get rid of the Death Eater mark. Very good movie though. Wrapping up this conclusion, we're just going to talk about the very last movie. We're not going to talk about the 8th movie, which is arguably just the 7th book, The Deathly Hallows. Fantastic movie, of course, fantastic. I love that, like, basically everybody's here. So far, our endings have been the first movie, or first book, Sorcerer's Stone, Ron, Hermione, and Harry. Chamber of Secrets, Ron and Harry. Third movie, Harry and Hermione. Fourth movie, Harry by himself. Again, forget Cedric Diggory because he died in the first second anyway, and also it should have been a Slytherin. Fifth movie, Ministry of Magic. All of them there together, as friends, fighting the Death Eaters. Sixth movie, Harry and Dumbledore together. And then lastly, you have, in this movie, everybody in the war together fighting. You get to see so many different people battling. One of my favorite parts is when Ron's mom fights Bellatrix Lestrange. And first Bellatrix Lestrange is fighting Ginny, and she's about to kill Ginny. And then her mom gets on the table and says, "Not my daughter, you bitch." Oh my God. When she killed Bellatrix Lestrange, the whole theater clapped. The whole theater went wild. I don't know because I read the book. I hadn't read the book at that point. I had just loved that scene. I loved that she stood up for her daughter, and I loved that she called her a bitch. And she killed her. And then that smile on her face, that satisfaction of yeah, bitch, I'm the one to take you down. I love that. I also love, Ron and Hermione, they went after the Basilisk. The kiss scene isn't a big deal to me, but because like I said, I knew they were going to end up together. I could see that from the start, but I love that they together were basically getting chased by the Basilisk, and it's still the other chosen one that kills him. I'm forgetting his name right now. I know it's going to come back to me randomly, but he killed it. Just like in the book, because in the book he kills it from Voldemort's bubble or something like that. He just stabbed. He draws his sword from the hat and slices the snake in half, and then Harry goes to fight Dumbledore. It is like a lightsaber. Harry goes to fight Voldemort. It is like a lightsaber battle, sort of. But because we have been with the series so long, that little wand battle between Expelliarmus and Avada Kedavra is just so cool. And they even dragged it out in the movie. We know Harry and Voldemort, they fly through the skies after falling off the rooftop and stuff like that, and they crash into the ground. And there's this slow crawl to grab their wands. Bro, it was amazing. You had to be there. You had to have been there. To have experienced it in real time with real fans and stuff like that. It was amazing. All of the Harry Potter books and movies, I got to give her applause. J.K. Rowling, you did really good, because I'm trying to tell you, these books that you made, the way you separated your characters over time, and you built up these major scenes was incredible. Nothing short of incredible. This was a shorter kind of video, but I always just thought it was kind of brilliant that she was able to make all her endings different, as well as handle this ensemble cast. Because even to me as a writer, in Shobu vs. Shinry, The Sword of Light, or even Shobu Samurai, there are eventually at one point 10 main character, one main character, Shobu Samurai and Kokujo Makanui, so two main characters, but then you have their side characters, so about 10 to 12 characters. And the way I balanced them was always finding a creative way to split them up. I won't spoil that for people that haven't read my book yet. But at some point, somebody gets knocked out, two people get their souls taken, one person leaves the group entirely to turn into an anti-hero. You have to split your characters up in unique and creative ways. And I think she did that in the first movie, knocking out Ron, knocking out Hermione with the potions, knocking out Ron with the chess pieces, have Harry face the villain, but they were there in the finale with him. And the second one, you incapacitate Hermione, and now it's Ron and Harry, to go fight the villain. Third movie, or book, you incapacitate Ron in a different creative way, and you have Hermione and Harry go through the finale in their own creative way. Fourth movie, you have Harry go alone, basically, without his friends, and fight this main villain that's, been looking for him all these years. And then the fifth movie, you have Dumbledore's army, Harry with all his friends, surrounded by love. Even Dumbledore came to his rescue whenever Voldemort finally showed up. So yeah, she's, despite the controversy, despite everything that's recently happened with J.K. Rowling, I want to say she's one of the greatest writers I've ever seen. And the directors of these movies, they're really good at bringing those stories to life, man. Gotta say I'm impressed. But yeah, just a short little quick video on it, and I just wanted to give my thoughts. This video, once again, is sponsored by the Shinry series. You can find all of my books listed here on Amazon.com, either by going on my page, Terrence Shinry Johnson, and follow the link to all my books, or feel free to just follow the link tree. It'll also link you to all the books that are available right now. Love Be Damned and Love Be Caged are listed for $6.99, and the first book in the Shinry series is listed for $9.99. Called Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku, as well as the other books on there. Shobu vs. Shinry, The Sword of Light, listed for, I believe, $14.99. And then Enter the Dread Zone Part 1 and Part 2, listed for $7.99 and $6.99, respectively. Either way, I appreciate it and thank you.